Alright, Sven, we are back and we are bringing you a book, so I hope you like reading. Also, stop standing in the fire, me.
Light be with you.
You found what? Please, let me see it.
That shadowy figure I saw was a witness to my family's death. There are questions I'd like to ask that man, if only I knew who he was.
I must know who was that skulker in the shadows I saw the night my family was killed. Please, adventurer, you have shown your resourcefulness. Please find that shadowy figure. I must learn what secrets he holds. I do not have clues that you do not already know, but here, take the book you found at my farm. Perhaps some of the townsfolk can link this book with its owner.
Ah, take the book you found at Sven's farm and show it to the townsfolk in Darkshire. Now, at least, this means that this quest is like, a bit of a chain, and we get some lore to do with this place, which, that is so far the stuff that I have enjoyed most playing my way through WoW Classic. Like, learning about the zones. I quite enjoy the whole dynamic of, there being this big town in Stormwind, and, the people in Redridge who needing resources, the people in Dusk needing resources, the people in Westfall needing resources, and it's very simplistic writing. It's just a reason as to why they can't send more people. It probably isn't much deeper than that, but at least it gives the entire place a bit more of a personality. Also, I still have this one quest, not this one. It's here, messenger to Darkshire. Return to Magistrate Solomon, who is the guy in Lakeshire in Redridge Mountains. And we have to bring him the letter of response. And I obviously do want to finish that quest chain because I'm intrigued. I am deep enough in that I'm intrigued. Also, I'm almost level 26. Why are there so many higher level people here, though? I see people like level 38, level 37. Are they just here because of that one boss mob, maybe? Does it like spawn around this place and people are camping around here maybe? There we go, the first rot blossom is in. We have looted it from their face. I think I'm going to start putting points into improved Shadow Bolt because it says your Shadow Bolt critical strikes increase shadow damage dealt to the target by 4% until 4 non-periodic damage sources are applied. I'm assuming that means that if I hit them with a skill that just deals one amount of damage, that is considered one tick. If it is a secondary tick from a dot that I had already applied, so it probably counts one tick as something for the like counter, but then like secondary or tertiary ticks, for example, they won't. Wait, a Dark Rider. I guess this is what the people were waiting for. And they killed it. And that looks cool. I guess I'll find out about that later. But yeah, I guess that means that dots just won't trigger it. But the effect lasts a maximum of 12 seconds. But also, once I have 5 points in here, I can put points into Bane, which just reduces the casting time of your Shadow Bolt and Amulet spells by 0.1 second, and your Soulfire spell, which I'm not using. But, I can bring down the casting time of my Shadow Bolt. Don't know if that's good, but it looks like the most interesting thing that I can put points into right now. So I guess I'll just start pumping into that. Yeah, guess we'll see. There we go. That is Rot Blossom number 8. A decent amount of faces and skulls have been squashed in the making of this quest completion. But it is now done. I guess I will run back to Darkshire. Some of the quests, now that we're level 26, they are no longer red, so maybe we can look into doing a little bit more of these as well. But yeah, you know what? I guess I'll just run back to Darkshire and we'll see from there. Alright, I am back in town, and let's head over here first. There is Madame Eva,
Well met.
who I can speak to about the book. If you have something that belongs to the shadowy figure for whom you seek, then let me see it. I may be able to divine something of its owner.
Someone handled this book recently. Someone who is driven by revenge. but the impressions left on it, at least the impressions from the original owner, are faint. I can tell, however, that the original owner of this book is not a native of Darkshire.
Ooh. But then where does this owner originate from?
Here is your book back, adventurer, and I bid you fortune with your search. If you ask others in town, perhaps they can offer you more clues. And here is one more for you. Although the author of this book is a stranger to Darkshire, the book itself was purchased here.
Wait, the author of the book is a stranger to Darkshire, but the book itself was purchased here. Does that mean... As it can mean either of two things. Either the book itself was published and it was put into stores here and someone purchased it from this place because, you know, it was just published here. Or, more logically, someone, like the guy who wrote the book wasn't from here, but the guy did purchase the physical book, you know, as it was empty from this place, and then, you know, wrote something in it. That makes more sense to me.
Honor,
The cool thing as well right now is that it's talking to us about having to go explore town and talk to some more guys. So potentially, you know, we can actually get some proper dialogue going on without having to walk back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I will leave this quest for just a moment, and I'll see if I can just continue the quest about the book, because that book kind of intrigues me. Hello, Clerk Daltrey.
Hey there.
Sometimes I'll sell blank books, there we go, to scholars and mages, or to anyone who wants to keep a journal. I remember well everyone to whom I sold a book within the last few months.
Ah, yes. I sold this book a month ago to a shady person. He didn't tell me his name, but he was a nervous, jittery chap, always looking over his shoulder. I hope that helps you.
Well, I mean, that's practically every single, like, defiers, rogue kind of person I can imagine.
Here's your book, and good luck with your inquiries. You might want to expand your search to the inn. If the person whom you seek spent time in town, then chances are someone saw him there.
Damn. This guy has a brain. An enormous brain, almost as big as mine. Search the inn for clues about the shadowy figure.
Have a good one.
Right. Into the inn we go. And I guess it's going to be the same person who we have to talk to for both quests. So that was perfect planning on my part. Let's see. Tavern Keepsmiths, hello.
What can I do for you?
So, inquire at the inn.
For the Alliance.
The Scarlet Raven doesn't see the business it used to, but we still do get travelers passing through. If you can describe the person you're looking for, maybe I'll remember him.
Oh yeah, I remember this book. Its owner rented a room for a few days and spent his nights at the bar writing. He left town in a hurry, muttering about being hunted by something. Last I saw him, he was heading west out of town, looking for a new spot to hide. The first place he'd find to the west is Raven Hill. Have a good one.
Raven Hill is back over there. Oh my. I hate this map, guys. I want to take all the good things I've said about this map, and I want to take all of them back, because I hate this map. This map, as someone who's doing everything blind, is just a pain in my ass. Now, if I were doing this with Questy, I could probably optimize this and have way less walking back and forth, because I could be like, hey, I'm going to grab this quest, this quest, this quest, this quest, do them all in one go back, and do it that way. But because I'm doing it the way, you know, the game was designed to be played originally, I hate this map. I still don't regret my choices, but I hate this map. So, inquire at the inn, continue.
Oh yeah, I remember this book.
Complete.
Its owner rented a room for a few days and spent his nights at the bar writing. He left town in a hurry.
Good luck, AK. I hope you find the chap, and I hope you find him alive. If he's left the safety of Darkshire, then he could be prey to the beasts of the wilds. Find the shadowy figure, your clues. He is not native to Darkshire. He is a nervous, jittery person, and he left Darkshire and headed west. Right. Then also we have the Rot Blossoms quest. Do you have those Rot Blossoms for me yet? I do, sir.
Good, you got the rot blossoms. And I'll tell Althea Ebonlock of the Night Watch that you were killing skeletons. Keeping the people of Darkshire safe is a grim burden for the Night Watch, and news that others are helping stem the tide of fiends in Duskwood is welcome news indeed.
I mean, the problem generally is that there are too many adventurers doing this exact same thing, and that means they were contesting my ability to kill them in a, well, nice and quick fashion. So please stop sending as many adventurers out there. Thank you very much.
Here's your zombie juice. And be careful with this stuff. It's strong enough to raise the dead.
So bring the zombie juice to Abercrombie at his shack. So
See you around.
that means for 2 quests, once again, we have to head back to Ravenhill. What I will do, however, and I keep forgetting to do this, is I will talk to the innkeeper, and I will make this in my home. So I can just teleport back here every hour, which I should have been doing for ages now. But because I'm an idiot, I haven't been doing that. Yeah. So I'm gonna clean my inventory a little bit, head back to the other side, and yeah, we'll see if we can make some more progress.
See you later.
See you later. Wait, hold on. So we're looking for a jittery person. This guy is called Jitters and has a quest marker on him, so I'm assuming he is the person. But weren't we helping him out before? Like, weren't we helping out this guy? And he looks different. He looks like he's probably from Elwyn, right? Hello?
How are you?
Who are you? Leave me be.
Yes, I'm the author of that book. You finally found me, eh? Well, if you read that journal, then you only know the half of it.
Well, then please do tell me the other half.
The book you found was only half finished. I had to leave it at Sven's farm when I fled there. Here, take my completed journal to Sven. It describes more fully what happened at his farm. Although this journal has been my only company these past weeks, if giving it up keeps me from having to face Sven and his wrath, then I do it willingly.
Ah, yes, Sven and his wrath. You know, he seems like a very wrathful person. So,
See you around.
we now have the entire book. So, let me see. The Terror. Have we read this entire thing? I actually don't know exactly what we read, but there are what? 20 pages. 20 pages. Alright, guys, I'm going to go high speed here, as high as I can. If you don't want to watch me read through 20 pages, I might edit it out. But if not, just like skip around until you find to where I'm done talking. Okay, here we go. Let's, guys, get comfortable. Get ready. And here we go. My journal. The terror of these past few weeks is almost more than I can bear. Why is it that by writing words into this book I can somehow keep the madness at bay? Perhaps it is as if I'm confessing my sins to a silent companion, or freeing my mind to these tortured thoughts and confining them to paper. I began a journal before this one, but it remains in a place to which I cannot return, so I will start afresh. But this time I will start from the true beginning. It began with the finding of that cursed scythe in the mine they call Roland's Doom. Yes, that was the start of it. Before that, the Defias Brotherhood was happy with our progress in Duskwood. Defias Brotherhood, interesting. Before the scythe, the terrors of this place seemed as tame as Northshire Valley. But ever since I found the half of the scythe just jutting from the pile of rubble in the mine, cursed me, pulled it free, Roland's Doom became a place of all death. We read that before. If I had known what would happen, I would have cut my own hand to keep from grasping that rune-carved wood. Rune carved. Interesting. So many regrets. I always thought that I was privileged to the old. I now know that it is not the old, it is the hopeless who don the mantle of regret. Guys, I hate this font. It's so hard to read. Unable and unwilling to shrug it from the shoulders, stooped with misery. Wow, speaking is difficult, guys. But enough waxing like a pipe-mad poet, I must continue with my chronicle. After the scythe was freed, a change rippled through the mine. Light from our flickering torches warped, and the strength of our voices seemed beyond our control. Sometimes a man's whisper roared through the tunnels, forcing hands on ears, and sometimes our shouts barely traveled a few steps before diminishing into a hint of the wind. Unnerving, yes, but we don't have long to wonder at the strangeness. It was but a harbinger of what truly drove us from the mine. The Worgen. Ooh, Interesting. They came at us from everywhere, clawing from the hidden holes at our feet and dropping upon us from silent perches above. Half our men fell in those first panicked minutes. The rest, including myself, tried to flee. As I ran, I saw so many of my brothers taken by tooth and claw, heard so many screams cut short or gurgled to silence. For all I know, I am the only human to escape that place. I can only guess why I survived that night. I have always been cautious, always quick to flinch from jabs and leaps, free of pitfalls. My nickname, Jitters, comes from this trait, so perhaps it was just that knack for caution that saved me. Also, by Jitters. Or maybe it was the scythe I pulled from the rubble. It cannot be the scythe itself, for I lost it during my frantic flight. But if it was I who brought the Worgen to Duskwood, then perhaps the Worgen afforded me a rare courtesy. Curse them. Or perhaps I am doomed to witness the change I wrought on Duskwood. Perhaps it is my fate to watch as the Worgen tear into this land, staining it ever darker with their foulness. If that truly is my fate, then it is twofold, for the Worgen are not the only power to clutch at Duskwood. The fiends from Deadwind Pass have also taken claim. That is the next chapter of my tale, and I pray it is the last. After surviving the flight from Roland's Doom, I hid within a barn owned by a man named Sven. I spent a few days in the barn, and such horror lingered with me that I never once made myself known to Sven or his family. But from what I saw from my hiding place, I knew these farmers were quite decent folk. Had I stepped from my concealment, I think they would have taken me in. But trust is hard for me, harder still after that shock in the mine, so I remained hidden, and it saved my life. A few days later, I arrived at the barn. Sven left his farm for Darkshire. He kissed his wife and smiled to his children and promised to return soon with toys and sweets. The poor man. That was the last time he saw his family unmutilated. Alright. At least they parted happily, and at least his wife was the first to die. Okay, and was freed from seeing the slaughter of her children. But these small graces do nothing for me. I saw what happened, and it will ever haunt my dreams. My hand trembles as I recall the details of that night, when Sven was away and his family was doomed to face the Black Riders alone. Again, regret claws at me, for I was there and could have risen against those fiends from Deadwind Pass, but it is false regret. It is the same that plagues any survivor of a tragedy. I know that had I left my place of hiding, I too would have been killed, my body ripped and torn, and its pieces spread so widely that I would not be recognized. But, even though I know I could have done nothing to stop this heinous murder, one true regret does remain. I brought the Black Riders to Sven's farm. My discovery of the scythe not only unleashed the Worgen upon Duskwood, it drew the riders from the Deadwind Pass. I knew this because just before they began their slaughter, they asked one question to Sven's wife, and she held her children close, giving them what comfort she could, though she was certain death was near. The scythe of Elune, one of the riders shrieked in a voice both harsh and shrill, like the grinding of an axe on stone, and the last word, Elune, it croaked as if choking on the sound. Dread gripped me when I heard that voice, both from the horrid sound of it, and because I knew the scythe of which the rider spoke. It must be the same cursed thing that I drew from the rocks of that Roland's Doom days before. It was what the Black Rider sought, and it was what would kill Sven's family. So he's unleashed 2 plagues at once upon these lands. That is rough, buddy. I never learned the name of Sven's wife, as she was only ever called Dearest and My Love and Mummy by her husband and children, but I wish I knew it. I am the only living memory of her deed that day, and although she was just a farmer's wife, never have I seen a man or woman act with such bravery. Of course, she did not know of the scythe, but when she learned the riders sought it, in an instant a plan formed in her head, and it was bold and clever, if only it had worked. The scythe? She asked in a calm voice. Of course I do. Who here wouldn't? She looked at the riders with steady eyes, and I would have sworn she spoke the truth if I had not known better. There was no way she could know about the scythe. Her gambit paid off. The same rider who uttered the question before bent his head slightly towards her and shrieked, "Where?" "I'll take you, all of you," she said, and I could see a small hope flicker behind her eyes. "But the way is far, and my children would slow us. We must leave them." Her trick was simple, but simple tricks have the best hope of success. If it worked, it would lead the riders away from the farm, she would be lost, but her children would be safe. And it would work, if only the riders believed her noble lies. Although I have never seen a student of the light, I prayed fiercely for Sven's wife as she stood against those terrible riders. Please, I prayed, let them believe. They stood, frozen, and she met their gazes with calm. Then one rider looked up as if hearing a distant call. He drew from his garb a small gem and peered into it. He then gestured with the bauble towards Sven's wife. A light crept from the rider towards the woman, shaping itself into a grim white hand. She stared into the light, unflinching, but I could see uncertainty behind her mask of confidence. When the hand reached her, it spread its fingers over her head, and it squeezed. Sven's wife stood rigid as a board, not a ball, and her eyes grew wide, and although her lips pulled back to mouth a scream, no sounds escaped. After a few moments of this torture, the hand released her, dropping her to her knees. The rider who held the bauble then sat erect in his saddle, and a loud voice erupted from it. "This woman lies," it said in a voice that had scared many dreams. "She has not seen the scythe." After this, the rider's shoulders stooped slightly, as if a spirit within him had fled, and then in the old shrieking voice it used earlier, these final words were uttered: "The Lord has spoken. Kill them." I cannot describe what happened next. It is clear in my mind, but even the wretched soul cannot put to paper the events of those next few grisly minutes. I can only write that Sven's family was killed, and soon after, Sven returned to this grim, deathly scene. Such grief was in him that I was afraid to show myself, and so afraid was I that he would find me. I fled from my hiding spot in the barn. I do not know where Sven is now, but I pray he will someday find peace. I spent the next few weeks moving from place to place, never lingering for fear of the riders. I am now in the abandoned town of Ravenhill, as always, hiding. I cannot face whatever power they used against Sven's wife, and I know it searches duskwood, even still, for the scythe. It is lost to me, and I thank the light for this. For had I kept it, I know I would have been found. Even now I know in my heart that I will be found. I am so tired. And those last few words, "I am so tired," they describe exactly how my throat is feeling right now. I am not used to reading text of that magnitude. So, if you're here for me to start my book reading series, I'm gonna need some practice because I'm not built for that. Okay, let's go bring this book back to Sven, and then also bring the what's it called, like zombie juice, over to the guy in the shack over there. And then we'll have 2 more things wrapped up and ready to get more experience.